What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Country Bunkers Trains. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're having a good week. I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. Can't believe they're here already, can you? This year's just about wrapped up. Who'd have thought? It's crazy how fast time flies anymore. On that note, I did think I was done buying stuff this year for the train room, but apparently that was false information. We did get a new item here to the train room that I'm real excited about. Like a lot of things here in the train room, we are quite late to the party with this new item, but hey, it's all good. At least we made it, right? We're working our way up and getting some good stuff. Well, check this out, guys. We finally got us a new-to-us Lionel Legacy 990 command system. How cool is that? I'm sure a lot of you know this has become a pretty pricey and hard-to-come-by item over the last couple of years, with Lionel discontinuing it last year in favor of their new command system, the Base 3. The second-hand market for this system has just skyrocketed and gone out of control. A lot of you guys have been asking me in the videos, well, Zach, do you have Legacy? Why don't you have Legacy? So on and so forth. And there is quite a backstory to that. But we can finally take solace in knowing we finally have one. There is a bit of a backstory to this, like I say. This is something that's been in the works on the back burner for the last couple of years. A few years back, I did actually want to pick up this 990 command system. But I wasn't extremely hot and heavy and looking for it that hard, as I don't have near as many Lionel engines as I do MTH engines. So I did want to get one, but like I say, I just wasn't hot and heavy on getting one. Well, fast forward to last year, you may remember that extremely nice and generous member of the channel here gifted us this beautiful Lionel Legacy S1 and 21-inch Southwind passenger car set. You guys remember I was left in awe. And if that wasn't enough, this person also knew we didn't have a Legacy command system to run it. So along with the train and the passenger cars, they also put an order in for a 990 set. So with one, I believed at the time, coming to the layout, I quit looking for one and was waiting for one of these to show up. Well, time had passed since getting put on the list for this set, and then of course we all know what happened last year. Lionel came out and stated that this set was discontinued and then that they were going to come out with their new Base 3 system. That left a lot of us kind of upset because I was really looking forward to getting this set. But hey, not to fear. The person that ordered this set for us actually stepped up and ordered us a Base 3. So we should still have a Base 3 coming here to the train room whenever those do come in. But I am still extremely ecstatic to have this 990 set for the simple fact I enjoy having a remote. I don't like using my phone or an iPad or anything like that to control the trains. And Lionel has stated that this Cab 2 remote will work in conjunction with that Base 3 just fine. So I'm really looking forward to still getting that Base 3, and we can operate everything together with this remote. I do have to say I'm not overly impressed with how Lionel has handled this command system debacle going on over the last 2 years. As I say, 2 years ago, this 990 set was on back order. You couldn't get it brand new. And then on top of that, a year later, they come out after not delivering anything, saying, oh, it's discontinued, it's no longer being made, but we're going to make a new system, don't fret. Well, here we are, it's been another year, and that system is looking to get pushed the delivery date once again. Who knows when that new system is going to show up? This leaves newcomers coming to the hobby unable to properly run and get all the functions of their trains. Now, I know some of you guys are going to come back at me and say, well, you know, they got Bluetooth, the universal remote, the Cab 1L remote or whatever it's called. Yeah, sure, that might be a Band-Aid fix, but it's not extremely proper in my mind. You can't access all of the Legacy functions on these engines with that system. Now, I may be being a little overly critical, or maybe just being a little overly sour, and hey, I'll accept that. I'll take that. I guess that's my prerogative, if you know what I mean. But one thing that's really kind of bugged me, especially this last year, Lionel does their videos here on YouTube and elsewhere, doing their little demos of new product, as well as product that they're building and showing off, anticipating to come in. Well, what command system are they using? I don't know, that kind of rubs me wrong. If you're no longer going to offer this remote or system, you shouldn't be doing your demos with that system. Use the products that you are currently offering. Your universal remote, your Cab 1L remote. Hell, even use whatever you have of the Base 3 in your Bluetooth system or app or whatever you have. Use that to demonstrate with. You shouldn't be using this. Your train could do this, but it can't because you can't get this system from us. That just really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Again, maybe I'm being overly critical. Maybe it's just me. It just kind of rubbed me wrong personally. But anyway, I digress. On to the good stuff already, right? We've got one. Super, super excited to have this in the train room. Obviously, it's been in the works for quite a while. It has definitely been and is going to be quite a learning curve with this new system. You guys know I love all things 3-rail, O-gauge, and O-scale. But I do tend to favor my boys over at MTH. Big fan of theirs. And that has been our main command system here in the train room for a number of years. We've had our DCS systems for quite a while. So it's quite a new learning experience picking up this Legacy command system. A lot of new functions and learning the new remote. But I have to say, I'm like a kid in a candy store. It's a lot of fun. Hooking it up to our first layout over here is super, super easy. We already had TMCC installed over here. We actually have it installed on both layouts. But yeah, all I had to do was unhook the wires running from this system over to the new Legacy system. Did have to change out for this system's wall wart and unplug this one. But yeah, really easy and really straightforward. We got our ground or common wire, which goes out to the tracks. Or in our setup, this goes back to the negative output terminals on the TIU that go out to the tracks. We got our computer serial cable here hooked up to the DCS system so they talk to each other. Honestly, I really don't need this anymore. I don't think I'll be using the DCS system to command the Lionel stuff. But hey, I might keep it hooked up for now. It's a nice thing to have. And then of course here's our wall wart cable. Like I say, super easy and straightforward. One thing I am going to have to do, I believe, to utilize this on both layouts, I'm going to have to install a secondary ground wire coming off the pigtail that goes to that TIU for the negative or the common going out to the tracks. And I'm going to have to run a wire over to the second layout over here. I want to be able to use this Legacy system between both layouts. With TMCC, what I did, I had my original TMCC set up right there, the Cab 1 and the base. And then over on this second layout, I've got that blue, Legacy Light or Cab 1L base, whatever they call it. I have that one hooked up to that TIU. So really, there's two separate TMCC systems for both layouts. But I want to connect them together, that way I can use the Legacy system and remote all in one between both layouts. We are going to have a wire running on the ground. I do hope to plan on installing rugs or carpets in here once again. We'll just hide that wire under that rug or carpet that gets put in here. One quick word of caution that I did learn reading through the various forums and info online is not to trust the charging circuit that is in this command system. The remote comes with rechargeable batteries. It takes AA's, and it has pins here on the back of the remote. And there's pins here on the base, so when it's sitting in the base, it's charging. But I've heard of a lot of charging circuit failures and issues, as well as when it's charging, it gets the remote extremely hot, and it just doesn't sound like a good deal. So what I did do is I took a piece of electrical tape and put it over the prongs here on the base. There's also a switch under the base that you can turn the charger on or off. Of course, now it's off. And I got this old battery charger that I picked up for my DCS remote. This does AA's and AAA's. So I just went out and picked up some rechargeable AA's. Man, these things are expensive nowadays. I think I paid like $35 for 8 of these batteries. But I think it's cheap insurance. That way we're not going to cause any issues or hopefully have any issues out of this remote and system. But yeah, first impressions coming from pretty much a strictly DCS guy. I like it. It's like a big toy in the hands. It's a very big and impressive remote and system. Like I say, it's just a lot of fun so far. And of course, still a big learning curve. From my very limited experience in using it so far, two of my big pros for this thing, and I think a lot of people would agree on the first one, the biggest pro on this remote is the horn and whistle slider. This thing is slick. Feels really good pulling that toggle or slider, whatever you want to call it. And of course, having the quilling whistles and horns on the engines, that really does add to the experience. I think that is really, really awesome. And I'm quite drawn to that. My second big pro for this one, so far, again, is this little train link or lash up function. We do have a lash up or train built here on the first layout. I don't have it running right now, obviously. But being able to build that lash up with not only engines but cars, because that's mainly what we have. We got a few 21-inch Station Sounds diner cars, as well as some other sound cars and whatnot. That's mainly the bulk of what I have. So being able to link those up into a train and function them together is really a whole lot of fun. On top of that, doing the sequence control with all those sounds, yeah, that really adds to the experience. It's just a blast. I've really liked that and enjoyed it. Now, I do have two slight cons for it so far, but again, both of these may change the more I use it and get familiar and used to it. But my first con with this one is I don't feel this is quite as ergonomic as the DCS remote. It's a big, impressive remote. Don't get me wrong, I love holding it and using it, and I enjoy the hell out of it, but it just feels a bit big and bulky. Not quite as ergonomic as the DCS remote. I'm not comfortable, at least yet, in holding this in one hand and doing all the functions, such as I am with this one. This one just fits in the hand a little bit better, and I can hold it and get to everything that I need to. Whereas with this one, I feel like I really, at least at the moment, I have to use two hands to operate it properly and correctly. Not a big con or a big gripe, but just something I thought I'd mention. My second con so far with this remote really doesn't have much to do with the remote at all. It's more so the operating system or the system itself in how you program and access your engines and rolling stock with sounds and whatnot. With this remote, kind of like an old TMCC remote, you have to address each engine a number, a two-digit number, and then to access that engine, you access it by hitting engine and typing in the number. It will leave the last one that you used loaded up so that you can quickly access it, as you see here. But for accessing other trains that are running on the layout, you got to press engine and type in the number and try and remember those numbers. And yeah, it's just a little bit of a pain. So far right now, I've got a little cheat sheet of my Lionel engines with their engine IDs that I have to keep handy because I can't remember all of those numbers. I can for some of the engines, but not for our rolling stock, like our 21-inch Station Sounds cars and our stock cars and reefers and stuff. I'm not going to remember all those numbers. Where the DCS system really kicks this thing's butt is you load them up the same way. It addresses them an ID number, but it loads them and saves them in the remote. So you really don't have to remember what the engine number is. It's already loaded up in here. You can see here's the number, but then it tells you what you're operating. So you don't have to worry about, well, what number engine is this? What number car is that? It's already here. You just got to scroll through your engine list and find it. And it even does this with Lionel engines. Once you load it up to a number, you can change or assign it a name. That way you'll know exactly what it is you want to run. Select it, and you're good to go. Can't really do that with this system. You got to remember that two-digit ID number and select that to run it. Just kind of a bit of a pain. But yeah, that's really all I have for it at the moment. I picked this up just the other day, and I've only used it for like an hour or so. Like I said, I still have a lot of learning to do. But it has been a lot of fun. It's kind of sad to know that it's discontinued. I am somewhat excited about the new Base 3, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I like my remote, but I understand the reasoning. Technology, computer chips, and having an app to support versus trying to do hardware with a remote. I understand it. I'm not against it. But I guess I'm just an old soul. I love holding the remote versus a tablet or a phone. I do guess it's finally time. We can finally retire our TMCC setup. I'm definitely not getting rid of that. That's been a great system. Rock solid, steady performance. It's never left me stranded or anything. So that'll be getting packed away under the table, at least for now. One last thing that I'll add that I think some of you might ask me is, do I think it's worth it? You guys know the market right now, the secondhand market. The prices on these things are crazy. I've seen new ones sealed in the box with asking prices of $2,000 or $3,000 on eBay. Do I think it's worth that much money? I'm going to be honest with you, no. If you have a TMCC system already, there's no reason to go spend buku money on this 990 system. I'm sorry, but I'm being honest. That's true. Yeah, there's some nice added features in this Legacy remote and system, such as doing the train link and stuff like that, and accessing the quilling whistle and horn. But is it worth $2,000? No, at least not in my opinion. This TMCC system will still run about 90 to 95% of the Legacy engine functions. No, it doesn't have an aux 3 for added features and stuff like that. But again, is that really worth another couple grand to me? No, in my mind, it's not. So take that for what it is. I wouldn't be rushing out to spend big money on this, but if you can find one for the right price that you're comfortable with paying, then absolutely go for it. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick peek at the new Lionel Legacy system here to the train room. I do apologize, not a super exciting video, kind of more like a vlog, but I hope you had fun with it and were able to pick something up. I'm really looking forward to getting more used to using this system. The big reason for picking it up right now is we've got that Vision Line Class A engine that should be here just about any day now. Really looking forward to running that engine with this system. We'll be able to access all of the features on it. I think that's going to be an absolute blast. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But anyways, my name is Zach, and this is Country Bunkers Trains. Y'all take care. I'll see you the next go-round.